Welcome to the Genesis Healthcare Podcast, where we go beyond the traditional office visit to explore what it truly means to live with optimal health. Each episode brings you candid conversations with our Genesis providers and featured guests from across the health and wellness space, covering everything from primary care and prevention to aesthetics and lifestyle optimization. Whether you're ready to take control of your health through a Genesis membership or explore treatment options to look and feel your best, we're here to guide you every step of the way. Ready to begin your journey to better? Visit thegenesisdifference.com to schedule your first appointment or aesthetic consult today.
Well, welcome, Meg. Yet again, after 17 years, welcome.
Thank you.
We were going to talk about the story and a little bit more about why Genesis was your pick and my pick for you. So first of all, why'd you get in medicine?
You know, I was thinking about this, and even from a young age, I've had a love and desire for science and biology and people. I mean, even in high school, I did Queen of Hearts, and I can remember thinking I really wanted to have an impact that could help people's overall health and do something good for the community and bring us together. So it definitely started with a love of people and a love of science and biology and just the intellectual challenges that navigating both people and science can have. And so it was a natural progression over life. When I went to college, my mother ended up getting breast cancer. And while she was there, in her infinite wisdom, she decided she wanted to have her cancer treatments down near me at Duke. And so she would visit me and we would go do her chemo together. So it gave her something to look forward to versus something just to dread when she did her treatments. And in that whole experience, she had her oncologist, obviously, but her oncologist had a PA. And that was my first exposure to that position and what the role was. And immediately I was in love. I switched gears. I was probably my junior year of college, I guess. And so it was towards the end of my career my school career, that I realized that was where I was called to be.
That's pretty awesome. And you got to go to the same college that I did.
I did, which is actually how I ended up here.
Yeah. So I set up the rotations many years before. And then you got to go on that same rotation and be here with me.
I was.
So that was pretty cool. So can you explain a little bit more about your reason for Genesis?
You know, when I got here,
other than me, of course.
Oh yeah. Obviously, you're an obvious choice there.
That's easy.
I can remember when I first pulled up, this was just a little old house. It had a portico, and I can remember thinking, "Oh my goodness, where did they send me?" Ugh, you know.
Me too.
And I can remember, when we got here, you had just gotten started. I mean, I think you had been going maybe a year-ish. And so there was lots for us to do. You were growing a practice, literally. You had one staff member that drew the blood, answered the phone, was your assistant. So as I got to come in, I had a great opportunity to be able to do all the things
Ground
too.
up.
Yes.
Yeah.
We would clean when it was slow. We would draw blood. I got to process everything. I got to do every procedure with you. And so, that gave me this authentic, real picture of what this position would look like. And then, of course, I love the autonomy of the practice and all of that. And so that was super exciting. And then as I got to see your philosophy in medicine and how we got to approach people and love on people and in the ability to build relationships and connect with people, and I could see we could come alongside them at a practice like this. And so that was super appealing. And then it brought a level of intimacy that you don't get at a lot of medical facilities. We get really busy and really heavy topics and things. And so it was more interconnected, which was super appealing.
Well, I was already pretty upset and done with with corporate medicine in general.
Right.
And so I was trying to facilitate a place where people could actually be cared for
Right.
the way we're supposed to be.
Right.
So, when I saw you, and I tell the story, and the story is, when she was, when Meg was a student here, we did have a lot of things to do, and she was not too good to pick up a broom and sweep the floor. And I was like, that's the kind of character and the kind of heart that I want here at Genesis. And so, young people, pay attention. We are paying attention to you. So it was really impactful to me as a boss, I guess, and then looking and going, well, she's not too good for anything here. So that was impressive. Show me your heart, show me your work ethic, and then your intelligence is off the chart. So it's that didn't hurt either.
Thank you.
And beauty and all of the things, right? So come on, please. So, but it was fantastic to get to know the heart of you and study your family, knowing your family. And that was just really huge for me. And seeing how much you just dug in with the family and loved the family. And it was really, really awesome. But a lot of the things that we did together was really just try to facilitate a warm place for people to be able to come and get care,
Right.
And hopefully prevent things from happening rather than treat people for their disease states. And so I think that your heart was perfect for my first hire at Genesis as a provider. So anyway, could you speak a little bit about some of the things that have gone on at Genesis that has made us better, or to make
Stand
it
out.
a more warm environment for patients and people?
When I think about medicine as a whole, and this isn't, obviously individuals, but it is a system where it is, your provider knows best, and we come in and we do what they say. And there is frustration if we don't. I mean, there's even insurance reimbursement, and that comes from, does your patient take a statin? If your patient doesn't take a statin, who gets dinged for it is the provider. So there is this, I say it, you do it mentality in medicine. And truth is, we are coming to medical providers for their expertise and their knowledge and their experience. And we want that. We need it. But we get so stuck in, I say it, you do it. Instead of, I was listening to something the other day, and it was talking about 30% of prescriptions are immediately thrown away on the property in which it was written. So, yeah, it's crazy, right? Like, here we are, 30% is in their trash can. And it's because
or the parking lot, maybe.
Yeah, exactly. So it's about, we're missing the point of why they're there, and we're missing the opportunity to actually really give help and be a voice that can help guide them in the right direction. Our approach matters. Our heart matters. I mean, people want authenticity, and they want somebody that is going to hear them and work with them.
Be trustworthy.
Yes, exactly. They want a safe place to go get health care. And truthfully, it's not always a script they want. I mean, sometimes it is. I mean, sometimes they want, give me my pill and let me go. But a lot of people, and especially the patients we have here, I think are looking for optimal health and are looking for a better journey in this life. And so I think because where you had already been and you already knew, I'm going to be different. I'm going to have a deeper connection. I'm going to hear what they're actually here for. We're going to find root causes. And especially now, given the model we have, we don't have the same time constraints that a lot of other practices do. So it gives us the opportunity to really get in and do a little more digging and to be a little more intentional with all the care that we give.
Right. Well, what about we were in a conventional system,
right.
and I was seeing 30 and 40 patients a day, previously, and then I come here and I'm still seeing a lot of patients a day. And then when we started transitioning, and I think the pandemic really helped us really understand that we can do better.
Right.
And I think a lot of where I was working 7 days a week, and coming in here sometimes at 7 in the morning and leaving at 10 at night.
Right.
On Saturdays even.
Yeah.
So by doing things like that, we knew that there's a better way. And these people still, they want and need care and help and our attention. And I think that made the transition into this direct primary care or membership model so much easier, because now they have access to us, because they had access to us then. It was just my cell phone. Right. And now it's my cell phone and your cell phone and my nurse's cell phone and emails. And so we're reachable. And what's really nice about that is the patients are also respectful, and they know we still have a life as well outside of here. And that's been pretty humbling to me. Yeah. Is to kind of give people access, and they go, "Hey, we don't want to bother you." I'm like, you can. you didn't have to, go, wait until, the morning. Right. You could have let me know that, you had a laceration across your scalp, and I could have sewn that up really quickly. So anyway, it's given me a lot more freedom and opportunity to dive in and dig in with people's lives. Okay. And I think that has been I've been able to really dive into who they are and what makes them tick and what goals they really have for me to help them. Right. And that's a big deal. It's not the goals from the JNC, right? It's not the hypertensive goals. It's not the diabetes goals. It's not all of the guideline goals that somebody else gives me for that patient. Right. It's what do they want out of the rest of their life. Right. And that has been hugely impactful for me and my patients, because we set goals, and in my plan of care now, at the bottom, it's at follow-up, we need to discuss this. Right. At follow-up, we need to discuss this. This is the goal here. In my HPI, history, present illness, I'll put goals, and I'll say, these are goals, typically first patient or new patient. And then by doing that, my SOAP note, or my note for the patient, it's really a book for them and a guideline for me to remind me to say, hey, these are their goals. Right. And these are the things we were talking about. And these are the things that we are going to talk about next time to obtain those goals. Oh, yeah. Not we're meeting the MIPS and the PIPs.
Well, and it is, as I think about that, it's really easy to get wrapped up in meeting what the medical standards are, and to forget and neglect what their objective is in the first place too. And that, I think that's where some of the frustration comes from, is where we're so busy checking off boxes that we forget why they came in the first place. And and if we aren't making people feel better, if we aren't getting them to a healthier lifestyle, if we're just checking off boxes and now they take a statin or whatever it is, then we've still missed the point and the opportunity to really help people. Sure. And so,
well, look at your diabetes guidelines, or your diabetes diet. The American Diabetes Association diet says eat as many carbs as you can in the morning so that you can stay diabetic all day long. Right. And it's like, well, why don't we actually discuss that? Right. Instead of just saying, hey, protocol says, or first line therapy says diet and exercise. Why are we not doing that?
Well, who has time to tell you what to eat?
We do.
We do. We do. We do a lot of that, actually. I think they hate it. I think people are tired of that. I know you hate it. I don't think they like it.
I appreciate your hatred.
And so, but truth is, a lot of practitioners will look, and it's because the way the system is built, to look at you and go, eat right and exercise, and they send you out the door, and then you go, what is that? And, our food pyramid is grossly wrong. Right. And, and there are certain things, I tend to gravitate towards a modified Mediterranean diet, high protein, high veggie, just because
Isn't that like a biblical diet?
Oh yeah, totally.
Okay, so Scripture actually outlined this all the way in, ironically, Genesis.
Right.
Right. So the modified Mediterranean diet, modified to the way God designed it.
Correct.
Okay. All right, just making sure.
Yes.
Okay.
If I had to think about one of the most influential books that I actually apply on a regular basis as I counsel people is What Would Jesus Eat? And I mean, I read that in college.
It's about that thick.
Yeah, I mean, you could read it on a.
I think they print it when you order it.
Yeah, right. And I mean, that was college when I had that, and even today, I still pull out the information we have, and when you read it, you go, oh, well, it makes sense, And so I do think we have a guide that's actually works year after year, study after study, fad after fad. It persists as the best way to eat. And, obviously I don't think that's coincidental.
Well, it's called truth.
Right. Well, there you go.
I mean, we've tried to modify truth for a long time,
right,
and bend guidelines to match what we want to see as truth,
right.
Right. So, you can't consume a lot of grains if you don't have it on the bottom of the pyramid, right? So
right.
the American American Diabetes Association and the FDA and all of the things that has joined hands with big agriculture to say, hey, we need to sell more grain, so let's put it on the bottom of the pyramid. So there we go. So yeah, that's I was at an agriculture dinner, and they said agriculture is a third of the GDP in America.
Oh.
Yeah. You let that hit.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh.
Bigger than big pharma, bigger than banks, bigger than all of it's big agriculture. So anyway, I'm big into agriculture. I enjoy my agriculture, but I think we can be better stewards of what we actually need out of the soil.
Sure.
So anyway,
as we're reflecting back on all of this stuff, Joe, I can remember, maybe even as a student, but most certainly in my early years here, you already knew we sort of wanted to take the practice in the direction that it has been. I can look back over the years, and as much as it hurt at times or irritated me at times, was you could foresee what was coming. And you have always had this ability to kind of see where we would need to go, and to have really deep insight on the best means for us to transform the practice, regardless of what it was, and just to have that foresight of where we need to go. And it's always been spot on. I mean, you would come and say, I have this thought, and then 6 months later, here it would be coming, and we'd already been thinking it and dwelling on how we were going to handle said problem or move to a better space. So I just think that's been a unique skill, and I've watched it, for 16, 17 years, 19 years, however, 17 years, I think maybe, over the years, and it's consistent too, even, so.
Well, and a lot of this it's just studying people.
Right.
And it's studying a little bit of what's going on in our environment. Being attentive, right? And listen to the truth. But I also looked at models around the world and actually how they worked. And I tried studying that. And, it's not prophetic. It's actually just pay attention sometimes. And,
right.
And I think we as a practice, and people that do a model like we do, can be more attentive and
Sure.
can study more and pay attention more. Not that we didn't study before and weren't able, because
Right.
we had to.
Right.
But
Right.
you get a little bit more freedom. You're not so hammered down on, well, I have to do this. I have an hour and a half of charting to do tonight, and I have to meet my guideline here, and I have to do this, and I have to see my 35 patients today, and I have to see my this, and and it's like the hamster wheel that I call it. It's like, and you can't get off of it. You can't see right or left, because
Right.
if you do, you'll fall off the wheel, and your kids don't get braces. So
Yeah. That is, as I think back on our past years, I don't think we practiced that different. I think our relationships were what they were. Our time we spent with the patients was what it was, all of that. I don't think that changed very much. We're just I'm more timely and not an hour and a half behind now. But that part is really a relief. But I can remember in the traditional model as a medical provider, most people getting in medicine have a heart of service and have a heart, and they want to help people, and we want to get, most of them are in it because we're here to serve people. That's the heart of your people.
Right.
And then the model we have made it now is more of a business. And so I can remember thinking, if I saw 5 people one day, I wasn't going to make a living. If I saw 30 to 35 people, I was drowning in being able to get everything done to the standard in which I wanted it. And so for me, being able to transition, there was real freedom in the beginning because you allowed the time. You were okay if I was a medical provider that was an hour and a half behind because I was listening to somebody and I was stuck in a room really trying to help somebody. It wasn't that we were shuffling people in. I literally spent 45 minutes with somebody and then 30 minutes with the next one. And so, that time accumulates really quickly. And so as a medical provider, you're running around and there's a level of frustration that you are failing because we're behind and we're late and people are frustrated. So you spend 5 minutes getting them unfrustrated because you were late because the last person had suicidal thoughts.
Right.
You're like, well, that was heavy and let me get you calmed down now, And so at the same time, I understand their level of frustration. I've sat in the doctor's office and been like, come on, I got things to do. Yeah. I've had that sentiment. So, being able to move to this model has really been a gift because there isn't this, feeling of you're going to make it or you're going to explode on either side.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it makes it makes it for healthier providers.
Well, and you were alluding to what's called moral injury.
Oh, yeah.
People say, well, you're just getting burned out. That's been the kind of the fad statement is burnout. I'm pretty sure you can't burn me out. Right. I worked really hard and had a lot of sleepless nights and studied very hard and achieved a lot of different things in medicine, outside of medicine. So have you.
Right.
And to tell me that I just physically and emotionally can't do it after what we've done.
Right.
That's not it at all. It's actually the morality of it. And we went into medicine to serve our community, to serve others, right? And so to the second greatest commandment, right? To love your neighbor, right? So if we went in to do that and we've got guidelines telling us we're not allowed to, and we only can spend so much time, or bosses that told me that I was not allowed to pray with people, or I was not allowed to do this, and I was not allowed to do that. And I was like, really? Like, aren't you a believer too?
Right.
And
right.
So like literally, I was getting morally injured in my 30s, and I just was like, there's a better way.
Right.
And so even if we go broke, there's a better way. I'm not going to morally give that up. And so the moral injury is, if you're a clinician out there, literally look up moral injury. You're not getting burned out. Right. You cannot do what we did and burn out.
Right. You can't have the training, the challenges that come in the upbringing of, these are tough people.
Yeah.
And they're used to working hard. Yeah. Especially back in the day, 80 hours a week was kind of expected.
Yeah. Right. That's also why primary care providers, I think primary care doctors, when I got out in the early 2000s, I think their life expectancy was like 65.
I could see it.
It was like 10 years younger.
It's pretty heavy.
Yeah. It was
it is really a heavy world.
Yeah. So, but those were the guys that were also doing tonsils and delivering babies too.
Right.
So, so they were general practitioners.
Right.
So anyway, anything else that you want to discuss as far as the story of Genesis, as far as how and why? Yeah. When people leave here, I want a wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's different.
Yeah, absolutely. I want my patients to feel like they were heard and known. We are going to practice towards evidence-based medicine. We're going to do sound reasoning and thinking and planning for these people, but I want them to know we heard them, because a lot of times they're coming in, and I've even walked in that world where I feel frustrated and distraught and so in despair that, I know there's hope, and I know it's not a place that'll stay there, but I have felt the feeling, and nothing is worse than having that feeling, going to somebody and being super vulnerable and expressing really where you're struggling with whatever it is, and then being shot down and told it's nothing or it's normal.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Which is why I hate the word okay. It's okay, honey. No, it's not. I'm suicidal.
Yeah.
That's not okay to feel that way.
Right.
So,
or normal.
Yeah, this is normal.
Yeah.
No.
No, it's not normal.
No.
So I think it is, I feel a calling and a deep desire to make sure that not only are we hitting important things that I think I'm worried about medically or whatever's in their labs, but to make sure they're heard, and we're working towards that, so
Right.
that when they do leave here, they go, well, I've not experienced that.
Right.
Or, man, this is above and beyond.
Or I've got a plan.
Right. There's
This
hope.
This
There's
is hope. And she listened to me,
Yeah.
and I can see where she's going with this.
Right.
If I put my effort in, she's going to put her effort in.
Right.
And I think, for me, I grew up playing ball. I grew up coaching, football, basketball, girls soccer, which was my favorite. I love my girls, right? And so, it was, I love coaching people to perfection.
Mm-hmm.
I know we can't get it.
Right.
And I rarely will chew somebody out for a mistake. I will chew them out for lack of effort.
Right.
I will, but a mistake is one of those things but I love coaching. I love coaching people and saying, look, we can achieve these goals.
Right.
We can do this. This is attainable, but we have to do this together. You can't just come in here, take a pill, and think that that's going to be okay. You actually have to put the effort in there. And fortunately, we have the time to say, here's the steps.
Right.
If you do these things right here, and what I was talking about earlier in my soap note is we're going to do these things right here. And then when we come back, we're to discuss the next step.
Right.
Because this is a marathon of health. It's not a sprint.
Right.
Sometimes it's a sprint. You get strep, we're going to get a sprint. Right. Yeah. That'll be easy.
Easy.
Yeah. Bring me a strep throat one every now and then.
Yeah.
It'll speed up my day. Right. So, but really and truly, it is a marathon, and it is putting time and effort in there.
Right.
And it's not just saying, all right, here's these guidelines that say you're going to eat this way, and here's a piece of paper. Hope you do well, or come to my class, and hopefully you'll learn.
Right.
This is the plan. This is what you do, and we do that together,
Step by step.
Yeah. So I do think that when my goal for people, when they show up, first of all, I like to tell people, you've done one of the hardest things to do.
Right.
Is show up.
Right.
All right. The easy part is to follow instructions and what we're going to try to do.
Right.
Because you've already done the hard part, is kind of trust us a little bit. But when you leave here, you should leave here with a plan. You should leave here with, okay, they paid attention. We've got a plan. Next week, I'm going to come back. We're going to review labs, and we're going to go through this, and we're going to have another plan. And so it's really a lot of fun when I see the standard American diet patient come in, and they're not a train wreck.
Right.
Train wrecks are fairly simple to get to feeling better.
Right.
But it's kind of the my age group, the 50s, and you go, all right, well, you're going to the gym, or you're trying to go to the gym, or you're trying to eat a little healthier, trying to do this, you're trying to do that, and your labs are a little bit wrecked, and then we go through the journey from first visit to the nuts and bolts of the labs, and then 3 and 4 months later, they come back and they're like, I had no idea I could feel like this again.
Right.
Because another statement that I hate is I'm getting older.
Right.
I'm like, first of all, you're not dead.
Right.
You know, and I think there's some demonic undertones to that.
Sure.
In saying I'm not good enough, let the young people do it.
Right.
And I'm like, no, that's not what Joshua said.
We're called to live fully until
Right?
we're out of here.
So when you look at that and you go, I want the best of the rest of my life.
Right.
I want the best. I don't want to just live or breathe in and out and be able to 3-point and 4-point stance to get up out of chairs. I want to be able to do whatever I want to do, or my grandkids want to do, or my kids want to do, or my husband or wife wants to do. I want to be able to be in it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I want to die. Mm-hmm. I don't want to die for 40 years.
Right.
That's
right.
what modern medicine is teaching us how to do.
Right.
It's teaching us how to die slowly. Mm-hmm. And we are trained, and that's so frustrating, because I'm frustrating with a lot of the training in medicine, because it trains us how to keep people alive.
Right.
And should not be our goal.
We're reaching optimal.
Right. We should reach the optimal life that we have left. Right? If you're 2 years old, you should reach the optimal life that you have left.
Right.
If you're 88 years old, you should reach the optimal life you have left.
Right.
And there's just no quit in me for that. And I know you don't have it either. And it's why my athletes will say, no, he didn't quit. he didn't quit. He didn't quit. He didn't have burnout. No. So anyway, I appreciate to see the patients that come through that buy into their health.
Right. I mean, I think it's exceptionally rewarding when you've got somebody that's come in and they are burnout, frustrated, or just think this is what life is from now on. And then you begin to get that transformation and you see that transition, and they are really obtaining the goals they wanted for themselves that maybe they had given up on, either out of frustration or just acceptance. You know what I mean? And so,
or it was the norm.
Yeah.
You know, it's just the norm. You know,
right.
You know, the orthopedics are full of the norm, right? And I love my orthopedics. Right? They do a great job, but they should not be so busy with a bunch of people that have knee problems, right? You know, we should be doing better than that, and we should do better than that as a culture.
Sure, absolutely.
You know, it's not. You know, we're treating the result of bad culture.
Sure. I do think we're in a phase where we're transitioning, and I think the people are calling for it, which I think is fabulous.
There's so much education out there.
Well, and it's all accessible. I mean, I almost think it's almost it can get to the opposite side too, where, you know, you got to have the vibration plate, you got to have the infrared, you got to have the sauna, you got to cold plunge, you got to be lifting, you got to be lifting heavy, you got to be, I mean, I think
But you can still have your Pop-Tart.
Well, they make healthy ones now, supposedly.
A healthy Pop-Tart.
Yeah,
I can't wait to taste that one.
Yeah, it's nice high in protein, I bet.
It's made with beef tallow.
Oh, I do like some beef tallow.
Well, yeah, me too.
Yeah, but
I
do think we're moving as a whole. You know, the cool thing is, how healthy can we get? You know, we've got access to these functional labs these days. You've got practitioners that are really, you know, the functional side of medicine is going to have a day. Yeah. You know, and I love it. Actually, I love it. You know,
and I think what we're talking about is, unfortunately, you're seeing a diversion in medicine to where you've got people who want the functional side of it,
right,
and to be truly functional in the rest of their life, and want that goal and want that. And then there's the people that say, you know what, I just can't.
I want my Coke.
Yeah, I want my Coke, and yeah,
I'm not giving it to
you. I've heard that story.
Oh yeah,
that's a good one. That's a good one, Dad.
Oh, well, I wasn't even alluding to him, but yeah, that was one too. Yeah.
So yeah, that was a really good one.
Oh, we're not going to share that one.
No, that's okay. But it is, hey, I want my this, and then I want you to take care of me. And that's the other part of medicine. And that's the part that's full.
Right.
And so it's also what I saw, and we were talking about, you know, my challenge and what I was trying to almost prophesy was, hey, there's going to be a part of people that are going to want more than the standard American pill box.
Right.
Right. They want to live their life. And so I just think we are going to cater to people that are going to want to live their life.
Right.
Thanks for tuning in to the Genesis Healthcare Podcast, empowering you to live optimally. Ready to take the next step? Visit thegenesisdifference.com today to learn more.